Ant, you little damn ant, buddy.
You're such a nice guy, Jay Leno.
I'm bored! I'm so bored!
Why don't we go to my website?
Gentlemen, the cola is very, very good today.
Like, I was just looking through the similar films to Librarian
those are...
and on Letterboxd, and it's like there are 14 films above the direct sequel, Librarian: Return to King Solomon's Mines, and one of them is Free Guy.
No.
Welcome to Guest Month, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome, guest, my friend Zara.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And today we are talking about Librarian: Quest for the Spear, the first of a trilogy of adventure movies made for TV, based on books, I think. Gordon probably knows.
I don't think so, at least from what I saw, but I will trust
I saw
the
a
expert
original
here.
writer, and I was just like, oh, are these based on something? I don't know.
Are they? Would you
No.
know this?
Oh,
No.
Zara.
No,
are they?
they're not based on something. I actually do know the lore. So I don't, okay, I know his name, but I'm gonna forget it. But okay, the Stargate movie. You guys know that
Yes.
film with James?
I know,
Okay,
yes. Yeah.
the original writer for that movie. I can't remember his name. I know it, but
Dean Devlin?
Yeah, Dean Devlin, yes. So he's produced like a ton of like sci-fi fantasy shit. And he works a lot with now like his company like Electric TV or whatever, which I think has the rights to like replay Librarians franchise movies, everything like that. So he and another guy, his name I can't remember, got together and like I think the guy who kind of half came up with the idea that's like he's the original writer credit and was like, wouldn't it be cool like to do like a franchise where we like kind of play on it, where we like subvert it, and it's like like a nerdy librarian is like the action protagonist and stuff like that. And the idea was kind of like born from that. And then it just spawned like this fucking big ass franchise where they had like a lot of like the books. There is actual books. So there's like a novelization that was done for the first
Okay.
one, which is terrible. So that might be where some of the confusion is coming from. That's based on a book because they made a novelization to come out at the same time as the film, which means there's like some discrepancy between little things that happen in the film and things that happen in the book. Like there's like two scenes that aren't in the film that happen in that horribly written book. That like makes me think, oh, this was in like an earlier version of the script. You know what I mean? Like, because there's not like a ton of behind the scenes information about the making of these films. Like, what there is just kind of like short advertising, kind of like B-reel type things. You know what I mean? Like, where they have like Noah Wyle sitting in a chair, like with like Bob Newhart and stuff like that, being like, yeah, this is like so cool. I got to do like this scene. It's not, you know what I mean? But it's something about like, this was the development process, and here's like the different versions of the script. Like, there's no access to that kind of thing. Which I wish there was because I want to know.
What do you want to know?
Everything. I want the truth.
We need the oral history on the Librarian Quest for the Spear.
Well,
Get
I mean,
everyone
it's
involved.
probably in the Librarian's vault, like the behind the scenes to the Librarian Quest for the Spear. It's
Right.
also in that vault next to the Holy Grail and the Unicorn.
And King Midas. Just the
King
corpse
Solomon,
of King.
more likely.
Oh, is it? I guess. I guess King Midas himself didn't turn into gold.
God.
I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah. So obviously we have a super fan in the house.
yes.
Going into this one, my familiarity with this franchise came from years ago on Lone Acting, like very early on. I don't remember which movie it was, but I was watching something on Tubi, and it was before I had ad block set up, so I was getting a lot of the interspersed commercials, and I got about 5 or 6 of the exact same commercial for the third movie intercut anytime there was an ad break, and I'd never heard of this franchise. and I watched the same exact commercial for the Judas Chalice one.
It's killing me.
And it was fascinating. And that was really the extent of my knowledge of this before going into this one. But it was an interesting time. It was
And now, and now you've all been enlightened.
And
yes.
for me, so even though I should have known about earlier, I didn't even know about this franchise until Gordon, you said like, "Oh, I would really want to do this for the podcast at some point." I was just like, "Okay, sure. Never heard of this. Whatever." And then I became a lot more familiar with it when the Pitt started airing and like Noah Wyle, whatever. He started getting really big. I had a lot of friends, including Zara, just start obsessing over him, and I'm in a group chat with Zara and a bunch of our mutual friends, and they're all obsessed with the Pit, and they've watched this movie over and over again on different streams, and because they all like Zara lives in Australia, a lot of our friends live in like Malaysia and other East Asian countries. And one of them lives in like I think it's Estonia is where Joel lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and so it's just like all of them are in a completely different time zone to me. So I'm never awake for these movie watches. But they watch it over and over again, and I get to hear about it. And this is my first time finally watching it.
What did you think of it? What
Uh,
did you think, Eliza?
uh, I I kind of hated it. I kind of hated it a lot. I kind of hated it more than any other movie we've watched this year so far.
Oh wow.
It's
That's a
always the
lo-
movies I love.
that's a low bar to clear also because we've watched some bad movies
Like
this year.
I liked it less than I'm Dangerous Tonight, which is another movie I had high hopes for and was severely disappointed by.
I thought it was fine, ultimately. Sorry, Zara,
Sorry,
to bring you
Zara.
in on this episode where
It's
that's the
okay.
best you're gonna get from the two of us. But
I
no, I thought it
I
was fine.
think I think that's needed. Like you guys are needed to balance like my autism, so it's fine.
I'm the Goldilocks. I'm the baby bear. I'm is just fine. Uh, Let me do the rundown here because I have a diversion I want to take us on in the
Oh,
midst of it
please.
as we before we get into the movie. We are talking about The Librarian: Quest for the Spear from 2004, directed by Peter Winther, written by David Titcher, starring Noah Wyle, Kylie MacLachlan, if we're going to spell them the same, I'm pronouncing them the same, Sonia Walger, Jane Curtin, Kelly Hu, David Dayan Fisher, with Olympia Dukakis and Bob Newhart. The Wikipedia page, by the way, has hyperlinks for all of those character names, and they all link to the same list of the librarian characters page, which I always love it when that happens. Like, what's the point of that? Why link it in the first place if it's all going to the same page?
Yeah, it's
Um,
just put a fucking see also list of librarian
yeah,
characters.
yeah, it is not curated very well. Another side note, I did check in the end credits there for the names of the two like thug assassins that are working under Kyle MacLachlan, just so that I wasn't referring to them by their actor names. And they are coincidentally named Lana and Rhodes, which is
Yeah.
funny. The movie was broadcast December 5th, 2004 on TNT. Airing at the same time on ABC, you had the TV movie of The Five People You Meet in Heaven. On CBS, you had an episode of Cold Case and a TV movie, A Very Married Christmas, with Joe Mantegna and Jean Smart, who is having an affair with Joe Mantegna, who is
Oh,
or having an affair. They're married. She's having an affair elsewhere. And apparently it seems that Joe Mantegna is down in the dumps until he meets a mall Santa, or maybe actually Santa. I don't know, but that Santa is Charles Durning. So maybe we have to do this one at some point in
uh,
the show.
this seems perfect. This seems like we need to do this for Christmas. Although I
Yeah.
think I've said that about like 3 or 4 other movies already.
Yes. Oh yeah. On NBC, they were airing The Family Man, the Nicolas Cage movie, I think. And on Fox, you had an episode of The Simpsons, an episode of Arrested Development, which was Good Grief, one of the best episodes,
Mm.
and an episode of the short-lived reality competition show, my big fat obnoxious boss.
Oh,
Which do either of you know about this?
never heard
No.
of it.
So I'm gonna do a little whatever. I'm gonna do some light reading from the Wikipedia page. Similar to my big fat obnoxious fiance, which is another one of these. It was a parody of shows such as The Apprentice. The contestants performed several tasks that they were all told would help them win a job at the Chicago-based conglomerate IOCOR and a $250,000 prize. However, none of the contestants knew that the company and the position were fake. The show was usually punctuated by the actions of the boss, Mr. N. Paul Todd, whose name was an anagram of that of Donald Trump. The contestants learn about his multi-billion-dollar venture capital firm IOCOR, and in any episode here, a member of his family could usually be found doing something either to unsettle the contestants or to test the limit of their blindness to the truth. Something canceled after 5 episodes. The last 5 were put up online. It was one of several television programs cited in a class action lawsuit filed by the WGA concerning labor law violations. The real boss was not seen or heard until the final episode and was kept a complete secret from the contestants. The official website suggested that the real boss could be Donald Trump's ex-wife Ivana Trump or Oprah Winfrey, although David Hickman did refer to the boss as a him. The real boss gave no reason for the decision of eliminating contestants each episode. So Todd was given free rein to make it up as he went along. In the final episode, the real boss was revealed to be a chimpanzee who responded to the name Mowgli and who made his decisions by spinning a wheel with the names of the contestants.
That's awesome.
Like,
imagine, like, that's such a good prank reality show type thing where it's just like, imagine you're playing like this serious, like what you think is like this serious, like strategic game show. And it's just like, oh, I have to do this in order to not get eliminated this week. And it's like, but then it's like, oh, no, it was actually all random. Oh, sorry.
N. Paul Todd was played by actor William August, a graduate of Harvard University and an experienced California attorney. August described Todd as a man who, quote, probably has a number of sexual harassment lawsuits pending. A variety of assistants helped Mr. Todd with his contests. His alleged vice president, Jamie Samuels, is sent to hate the women, while the COO, David Hickman, is, quote, a little too excited about these fresh-faced young men. Mr. Todd also relies on his wife, Wynn, and his wife, Lynn, and his son, Kent, to help judge the competition when a member of the executive team is not available. The contestants were initially split into a male and female team. Each team was responsible for naming their opponent. The men named the female team Femron, a portmanteau of female and Enron. The women named the male team Concad, a portmanteau of con and cad. And that's where I want to leave that off, is the portmanteau of con and cad. Although
I like that both of them thought those were like smart insults. Like those were real thinkers. Those.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that tangent.
That's my big fat obnoxious boss. Spin-off of the other one, my big fat obnoxious fiance. But we don't need to get into that.
Is that one like a parody of The Bachelor? That sounds like it.
From what it seemed like, it was one contestant was paired up with who she thought was another contestant, but was actually just an actor, where she had to pretend to be engaged to him for a prize. And if any of her family members either didn't go to the wedding or objected during the wedding, then she wouldn't get the prize money.
That sounds like a Christmas movie. Like if you want to save Christmas, you have to pretend to be like this guy. It's like, oh, I hate this guy though. But wait, maybe
it's a fan fiction setup. It's a fan fiction setup, but as a reality TV show. Anyway, The Librarian, Quest for the Spirit.
Yes.
And do we have to?
Yes.
We have to.
Can I start things off with the moment in this movie that every time I thought about it for the rest of the movie made me giggle? The concept of, I find it fascinating, the concept of someone memorizing the earth. Every time I tried to like conceive of that, it got more and more just like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You memorized the Earth. What could that possibly entail?
Like
Everything.
that
Everything.
that's one of my biggest complaints about this fucking movie. It's like it's one of the standard things where it's like you have generic movie, but there is a quirk with the main character. It's like the typical like procedural like way you make a new cop show. But it's like for this, it's like, oh, we're gonna do like Indiana Jones, but you have to do something different. What if we just have a guy who knows everything? And then
But
it's
is
just like,
also like a super fucking loser about it.
oh yeah, like I hate him so fucking much. I hate you, Flynn Carson. If you are listening right now, kill yourself. Like
He
you're
just tried.
Wait, canonically?
Yes.
Ha!
thank
Fuck
God.
yeah.
Like why can't I wish he succeeded. Oh my God, I
No.
hate this fucking guy. Like his whole character trait in like the first 20 minutes is just how much of a pathetic fucking loser he is and that everyone hates him. And it's just like and it makes me hate him too. But then it's just like, oh wait, no. He's such a fucking loser, but in the most useful way possible. And so it's like, yeah, you're a loser, but you're gonna become the fucking librarian now. Oh, and then it's just like, but it's like it still emphasizes how much of a fucking loser he is until the plot needs him to be useful, and then it makes him useful, and then goes back to being a fucking loser that can't do anything right. Right? And it's just like I just fucking and Noah Wile's performance, I it's so grating. It's so annoying. Like from the first second he's on screen, he's like talking about the pyramids or whatever. I just wanted to punch him in the face. And that feeling only grew stronger over the course of the movie. I just fucking hated watching this fucking guy. Like, just miserable, miserable experience specifically with him. I'm sorry. I hated it.
Zara, your response? I
So
feel like I'm going to be
obviously,
playing mediator this whole episode. I'm the impartial judge.
so obviously, I disagree. I find Noah
Oh,
Wyle
really?
to be, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Um, I I knew going in, like I could just tell that like Eliza was not going to like this movie, and I said that I think multiple times in the follow-up. I was like, but I still wanted to watch it anyway because I had like this modicum of hope that like actually she'll find it really fun.
Yeah, like you did message me like before we like as we were preparing the episode, it's just like you were like terrified that I was gonna hate this, and you had every right to be scared. And
Because it's just like I have like I have bad taste. Let's just put it out there. I have bad taste. Um, and the librarian was kind of like one of those things where it's like when I rewatched it, so like story time. I first watched this like a little like 11 years ago now. Like no, not 11,
2017
like
actually.
yeah, that's what I said,
That's
not
9 years
11,
ago.
like 9 years ago. So we're getting close. We're getting close to nearly a decade ago.
Point to
Um,
Eliza for that correction.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you. I did look up like her watch history for this.
So the very first time I watched it, I have like no memory of it from when I first watched it because I watched this in I think like a rabbit stream. Like that's how long ago I first watched this film. It was like a rabbit stream. It was probably like three other
Mhm.
fucking movies watched the same day.
Actually,
And
this is like less than a month, like only a couple weeks before you and I became friends because we became
yeah,
friends in a rabbit stream later. Like it was July, like I think we became friends July 24th, and this was July
yeah.
4th when you watched it.
That's what I said. But like I was in those rabbit streams like all the time, and we would watch like up to like seven movies in those
Oh
streams.
yeah.
So like I've got like no fucking memory of when I watched this film for the first time because it would have been just one of those things where we weren't even properly watching it. We were just fucking yapping off to the side and it was just kind of background noise. And but we did watch it purely because Kyle MacLachlan was in it. And I still love Kyle MacLachlan, but I was like super like obsessed with him back then. But I was also like 16 years old. So like it was a long time ago. Like it was like,
And
you
if I
know,
may interrupt, I would like to read out Zara's review from July 4th, 2017. Okay, look, I have a fair few notes, so I'm just going to list them out below. Kyle MacLachlan, 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 Kyle MacLachlan. Okay, well, that's all my notes out of the way. Thank you for reading my insightful thoughts. That has 190 likes.
It's literally one of the most of my reviews are like the most popular on that fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
It's
I
like
can't disagree on that one. He is, in
it's so
fact,
fucked.
Kyle MacLachlan
He
in
is
this
Kyle
movie.
MacLachlan. He's in the movie, barely.
Yeah, he
He's
is not in the
No,
film
yeah.
as much
that's
as
not
you'd
true.
think.
He's in like the last like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
He's
he's not
the
in it as
reveal.
much as people think when they go in. Um, it's very funny too because like you I actually did you guys obviously I knew you're not dumb, so you'd predict he was the villain, but did you guys actually I realized like some people don't notice it, but do you actually notice that it was him in the portrait they show at the beginning? Because some people
Yeah.
just straight up don't
Yeah, I,
notice.
I I saw it's like, oh, that's Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
And then they make a point of being like, oh, God rest his soul. That was the last
Yeah.
librarian, and he's dead. Okay, well, he's
Okay,
not
good.
dead, and he's the bad guy.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, I think just in general, some people are just stupid.
it would have been really funny though if Kyle MacLachlan was second billed in this movie just for the likeness of him in a painting, and he's not in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's happened before. Like something like Marlon, like kind of like how Marlon Brando's like barely in Superman, but he's like first build in that. I think that's happened
Yeah,
before. But
plausibly, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Um,
I will say I don't know how much you guys want me to go into this, but it is crazy how much um the first like so much of the stuff the first one established like obviously like in a certain general sense like yeah they established the law magic like stuff like that, but it's crazy how many like specific things become like an entire season arc in the final season of the Librarians TV show. Like it's and it's not the things you would think would become like a season long arc. Like it's fucking nuts. Like
like
give
what are we
give us
talking
an
here?
example.
okay, so Nicole.
Yes.
Nicole, like a
Who's
whole
Nicole?
thing with Nicole. So Nicole is like the
Oh, it's the
female.
girl.
Yeah, it's she's the
The
female
girl one
lead.
from the movie.
The girl
Yeah.
from the movie that I also
Um,
hated.
yeah. So like okay, do you guys give a shit about spoilers for
No.
Of
any of
course
the sequel?
not.
Okay.
For
I
the,
just listen for the audience. I'm gonna spoil a bunch of stuff. Okay, so if you care about watching the sequels and the TV show, which I think at very least, I think the TV show is worth watching if you like fantasy. Okay, for me, like
No
I
one
think you
does.
can. Shut up. I think you can watch the I think you can watch the TV show without having seen the films because Flynn is not the sole lead character. Like the show is built around an ensemble cast. So
Because
I
it's the
think
librarians, plural.
exactly,
whoa.
exactly. But anyway, so do you guys know like anything about, well, I know Eliza might know a little bit from me posting, but like do you guys know anything about the actual TV show?
I just know there's multiple librarians and that
I
it's
know that it exists.
Okay.
isn't it kind of like, well, not Monster of a Week, but it's like there's a different thing that they have to go find each week.
Yeah, pretty much. It's got like a really good Monster Week pro, and I think it made the right decision in shifting the franchise solely into fantasy and actually plays with, the idea of the librarian. Like there's a lot of like literary themed episodes. Like for example, in season 2, one of the villains is a Shakespeare villain, and it's really fun and silly, and you have like Moriarty as like a recurring character like in the season like actually plays with the literary connection more, whereas obviously like the the first three, the Judas Chalice kind of is like I see as the bridge between finally just going full like urban like fantasy um and like Indiana Jones like adventure novel pastiche of the first two films, and with like the supernatural elements of Judas Chalice. I don't know if you know, but like Gordon White from like the previous but like Judas Chalice is like about vampires, which is so funny.
I did see on the Wikipedia page
Yeah,
that Bruce Davison plays Dracula.
yeah, it's so
Hell yeah.
silly. It's
Hell yeah.
awesome. Um, but yeah, so like Return to King Solomon's Bites completely just like never gets brought up really in the show at all. Which is a shame because I mean, like, Elias, you would 100% find her annoying, but Emily, the main chick from that movie, I think it would be really interesting if she had come back for like a one-off episode. You know what I mean? Like, because I thought as a parallel for Flynn, I thought she was really interesting as a narrative tool. Um, but like the third one gets like one or two mentions when vampires come back in the TV shows. So this is one of my favorite spoilers. So Cassie, like Cassandra Killian, she's one of the new librarian, like main characters from the TV show. She is canonically sapphic and she has a romance with a female vampire in the show.
Awesome.
Like a short
Oh
romance,
yeah.
and it's amazing. So like a lot of good stuff is like set up and that they bring back from the films. And I think, you know, like it's like the films like backgrounds for like Flynn, a lot of Flynn's arcs and problems, which is really great. Um but the first one, right? Okay, so like Nicole becomes the center point of the entire four seasons. Like Nicole does not come back off in the sequel or the third film. They like and they in the films they don't ever say what happens. So in the films, like I feel like the context might have been like probably well obviously IRL context, they probably just didn't get the actress back. Simple as that. Or they were just doing like the Indiana Jones thing where it's like different chick, different movie. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
um,
They broke up off screen.
yeah, but because this like franchise is like very obsessed with lore, which makes sense for what it is, especially when you consider like the people behind it. Like one of the lead writers for the TV show literally said they use like kind of like D&D guidelines when developing the characters. So like these are like nerdy people who are working on the show. So this is why you can tell like
No, really.
no, I know. But like so there's like very lore obsessed, like which makes a lot of sense. And so you have like the very first like female protagonist of the franchise just being like MIA. No one knows what happens to her, especially too because she was playing an important role that is then actually expanded upon and made really interesting in the show, which is a guardian, which is like basically the librarian's counterpart. Like they introduced that basic concept in the film, but like she's there to like help him. She's, you know, the Guardian's the bronze, librarians the brains. And there's been like female librarians and stuff like that, like canonically, like in the past. So like there's been male guardians and stuff too. So like it's not like an exclusively gendered thing, but obviously in the film it's very like gendered. Um but anyways, like they introduce all this stuff and then just like Nicole just never comes back. And so then like and it's not addressed for like the first three seasons of the show either. And then like season four comes and I'm gonna say also too, they recast Nicole for when she does finally come back because obviously like the actress probably just didn't want to do it, which like fair
Yeah.
enough. Um and so like my favorite part of this is when they do flashbacks to the first film, they've like edited the new actress's face in to the old footage, which is really funny. Um, and like the brief shots they do for like I guess like continuity, like or for like the new people following, like so it's like why does she have a different face, you know? So it's just so funny. But basically, what happened to Nicole ties directly into the end of the first film in that remember how they mentioned there's like ninjas, like time traveling ninjas, and like they set up for like this awesome off-screen adventure like H.G. Wells' Time Machine, everything like that.
How could we
Um,
forget?
yeah, how could you forget? Obviously. Um, so yeah, what happened was is that that mission went badly. Um, and Flynn like had timed the H.G. Wells time machine to like exploit like and you know get rid of like everything, set everything back. But it fucked up. He technically fucked up because he was too overconfident. Um and ended up sending Nicole back in time, like to medieval times.
Oh yeah.
And so
Of
and
course he'd
because
fucking do that. He's such a piece of shit.
no, stop!
Let's kill Flynn Carson.
No, let's not. Let me finish before we give him death threats. Anyway,
And
so
I, as
like,
the impartial centrist, think we should and shouldn't kill him.
I think both sides are correct.
I think we should kill half of him.
Just castrate him a little.
Sure, that's how that translates. Castrate him
But
a little.
not my bisexual king. Anyway, like
What?
no, listen. Technically, he is he is canonically bisexual because he is married to both
Back
a
to the
man
time
and a woman
travel,
by the end of the
please.
show. Anyway, yes. So anyway, so she goes like 500 years in the past. She's in medieval times, and because she's a guardian, she like is waiting for like Flynn to come back for her because also like they're in love, right? And he doesn't because he thinks she's dead. So he doesn't go back. Like, he's told she's dead by like by like Judson and Charlene and everything like that. So he fully thinks she's dead. So there's no rescue effort made. Um, because also like if you play around with time too much, like this is the thing in anything with time travel, like you might fuck something up. So they do play around with time travel like in the show, like including they introduced it like earlier seasons, so like it doesn't feel entirely out of left field when it comes back. Um, but there's like kind of like fairly solid consequences. Like you can't do too much. If you do too much, you fuck things up. You know what I mean? Like typical time travel bullshit. Anyway, so she's stuck in the past, and so she gets to a point where she's like, okay, she's like, I'll find my way back to Flynn or whatever. So she becomes immortal,
As
but
one does.
her yeah, as one does, because again, this universe is full of magic fantasy bullshit. So like she knows that because she has that knowledge from being a guardian and what she's
Can I
picked
cut
up
in
from working with other. Yes.
real quick with an IMDb trivia note, which I love?
Yes.
The only way to power and reload all the death traps in the Mayan pyramid is by magic, which is, of course, a thing in the Librarian universe.
Yeah, of course it's a thing.
Yeah,
Um, it is. Like there's no way to make sense of like half the shit that happens to that movie.
it's
Um,
magic.
yeah,
It,
it's magic.
they just have magic.
Which is, of course, a thing in the
Oh yeah.
Librarian universe.
To
And
answer the question I was going to ask, because you brought up Moriarty as like a character in the series, and it's like, and I
yes.
was going to ask like, so is it the same guy from the books, or like, is it like, were the books based on a real guy that is
Okay.
immortal and like 200 years old?
Okay. I can explain this. So Moriarty is a thing called a fiction. So it is when no, okay,
I think
listen,
honestly,
listen.
stop it there. Everything we need to know. We that's that very succinct.
No, but, but like basically like he is the actual book character, but fictions are book characters that are brought to life and then actually live in the real world as normal human beings, so like that. So
Like
when
Enchanted,
Moriarty,
Because
yeah, like
magic,
Enchanted. Yeah, because magic. So
which
that's
is a
how
thing
like
in the Librarian universe.
yeah.
which
So that's
is a
like
thing.
Of
and he's
course.
introduced
Of
in
course.
season two. And that's how like that's why the a Shakespeare villain, like an actual Shakespeare villain like Prospero is the villain for season two. Although there's like a little bit of a reveal for him, but I won't go into it. Um
Don't go into it. Stop going into
yeah,
it.
I know.
Let's talk about the movie.
I have
Yeah,
I have
sorry.
one last thing I want to say.
Okay.
What do you
Uh,
mean one last thing?
uh, just before we get into like the movie proper.
Okay, I thought you were trying to close off the episode.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been 40 minutes, might as well. But um, so
My bad.
I just looked up like the actress who played Nicole as because it's like, oh, she's not in the TV show. What else was she doing? And Gordon, why didn't you mention she was in Lost?
Well,
Yeah,
the
she
reason I didn't
was.
mention is because I have a game for you two.
Oh,
Thank you
great.
for that perfect segue.
Yes.
So this movie features Sonia Walger, I don't know how it's pronounced, who is on Lost. And it also has Kyle MacLachlan, who is on Twin Peaks. So I have gathered together 45 movies. You're going to need to tell me if their cast has someone from Twin Peaks, Lost, both, or neither. And then who from those shows.
Fuck.
You,
Zara and I
it,
both know Twin Peaks, but I don't think either of us knows Lost.
I've
well,
never seen Lost.
well, there you go. That'll make it interesting. And I will say, because if you just say both on all of them, it's not going to be fun. So if you say both and it's just one of them or neither, that's minus a point. But
Okay.
otherwise, 1 point for the show and 1 point for every actor. Some of them have multiple actors from one or both. Understand it? I'm gonna be keeping score
Yeah.
as we
Oh,
go.
thank you.
Okay.
Who
God.
wants to start?
Let Zara start. She's our guest.
Okay. Your first movie is John Wick.
Fuck.
And that's the first one.
The first John Wick.
I would assume it's Lost because I don't recall anyone from Twin Peaks being in it, but maybe I'm wrong.
And
I
do you want to
haven't seen it in
take
a
a
long
guess on which actor that would be?
No, I have no clue.
Okay, I will
can I
give
go
you.
for a steal?
Yes, we'll do steals.
I think there is. So I think I agree with Zara that there's a Lost actor. I think is Lance Henriksen on Lost?
Ooh, you are almost there. You're so close. I'm going to give Zara the point. It was both.
Oh,
From
Oh.
Lost, it's Lance Reddick, not Lance Henriksen.
oh, that's who I meant. I just got my
I
Lance mixed
figured.
up.
And then from Twin Peaks, David Patrick Kelly, who plays Jerry Horn, is I don't remember him in John Wick, but he's
yeah,
in the first two at least.
I don't remember him in those movies either, but it's probably because he's so much older.
Yeah.
For a moment, I thought maybe Ray Wise was in the John Wick movies, and I just forgot.
I was
might be in
thinking
one of the
was like,
later
is
I'm gonna be
Ian
think-
McShane in Lost?
I don't think so, no.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
he would have
no.
written it down if he was.
Yeah. A lot of those later John Wick movies, there's a lot of other Twin Peaks actors, or a lot of
That's
other
crazy.
Lost actors. I mean, not Twin Peaks, a lot of other Lost actors that get pulled in over the course of it. But some of them, I'm not going to say because they show up later on the list. Eliza, for you, your first movie is Longlegs.
Long legs. Okay. I know Twin Peaks because I forget her name, but the woman who plays the mom in that is the little girl in Twin Peaks and is also the baby in Dune. So but is there a Lost actor in there? There's not that many actors in Twin Peaks in Long Legs. I'm gonna go with what I know. I know there's Twin Peaks. I'm gonna say it's just Twin Peaks.
Correct. Twin Peaks, and I'll give you the point because you made it clear that you know who you were talking about. It's Alicia Witt.
Alicia
Is
Witt. Yeah.
one of the Hayward sisters and is in Longlegs. To Zara, born on the 4th of July. And I also will specify that this is including the return in the Twin Peaks cast.
Okay, that's good to know.
On the 4th of
Not
July.
necessarily for this movie, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Can I ask when this movie came out? Because I have not
Nine-
seen this movie.
In 1989.
1989. Okay.
It's the Tom Cruise like Vietnam movie.
Right. Yeah, not a cruise film I've seen. Oh, okay.
And she's a real cruiser. Like, not really. No, I was just being funny.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass. You guys tell me. I don't have a clue.
I would guess neither, but I have no clue.
It is both. From Twin Peaks, Tom
Oh.
Sizemore, and from Lost, William Mapother, Tom Cruise's cousin.
Okay.
Oh.
For Eliza.
Don't remember anybody in Born on 4th of July outside of Tom Cruise.
For Eliza, your next one is Gia.
Okay, well, I know what's her face? And this is a movie we watched on the podcast, so it's like
Yeah. She was on your ballot.
yes, it's Elizabeth something, I think. But yeah, she's on Lost because she was nominated also for a guy what's that category? It was
Hey, that guy or whatever.
yeah, it's just like biggest that guy moment and
Yeah.
all people who are on Lost. And Elizabeth, it's not Elizabeth Stanley, but it's something like that. But yeah, she's on Lost. And God, is anybody else in that movie? Is there anybody in that movie that's on Twin Peaks? Fuck. I can't say for certain. So I'm just gonna say Lost only.
Okay. I might as well give you the actor as well. Correct. Just Lost. It's Elizabeth Mitchell.
Mitchell.
I'm also realizing this is a lot of movies and maybe not as fun if neither of you are at all familiar with Lost. And maybe this was just a project for me, and maybe I'm backing down from having this be such a thing.
What if you cut out all the ones that are like Lost specific, and it's like just make it like a Twin Peaks, or like is there anybody in Twin Peaks in this movie or not? And just like get like 10 or something.
But
Like
it makes we'll come back to this. We will circle back to this later,
Circle back.
okay.
either in the
We'll put
episode
a pin
or
in
at a
this.
later date. Who knows?
Anyway,
Anyway,
The
Gordon is going to
Librarian,
make me watch
guys.
Lost first, and then we can
yes,
play it.
we will play
Yes.
this game several months to years down the line
Or maybe
after
this
you do
is
your
just
proper homework.
maybe this just becomes a recurring bit where it's just like you just play it in random episodes, just like, hey, here's 5 questions. It's just like, okay, great.
Okay, in
Or
that
maybe we
case, I'll
play it
get
throughout the month.
sure. Why not? Who knows?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
We'll see.
Anyway, let's talk back about this movie. Um, what else about it? Jane Curtin is fun. I liked her stuff.
Jane Curtin is fun in her 3 scenes.
Yeah, I love Bob Newhart and Jane Curtin in these films. They're so fun. I love like Jane Curtin's like Charlene's like whine, like aunt energy. Like she doesn't care. She doesn't give a fuck. I love when she steals the giant coffee off Flynn. I think that's great. I hope she does that like every morning to him. It's awesome. Like, I love that she just doesn't care and that like she's just like, I don't give a shit if you die, just file your fucking paperwork correctly. Like, which is so funny too, because obviously they end up having like a much closer relationship, which like by the show, but it's still so
Obviously,
funny.
yes, we all know
Ob
this.
Obviously, yeah.
We're all
This
such
is
big
like,
fans.
yeah, this is like knowledge
Common
everyone knows.
knowledge. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, and then like,
one of the
yeah,
great relationships in modern media.
that's what I'm saying. I especially love Flynn and Judson's relationship. Like this is it's kind of already apparent in the first film, but like the second film like really hammers into this. But it's like a very much like, and this is like something they say outright in the show, so it's like, but it's already obvious. But it's very much like a like surrogate father-son relationship, and I think it's even more funny because it's just like Judson is like, damn, it's just like autism be damn, my boy can work a library. Like it's so funny. I just kind of like love. It's just like such like autistic father, autistic son, like coding, and I don't know. It's just it delights me. I think Bob Newhart is just he's just always fun to watch, and like the few things I think I've seen him in, which is not enough. But like, yeah, he's great. It's delightful. I love all the character dynamics. I think it's fun and goofy and silly.
Yeah, I do love me some Bob Newhart. I was pleased with his moments, even if it is a little bit of just the Bob Newhart at a certain point going into just sort of tired old man mode and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it works, and it's fine here.
Yeah. Like with Bob Newhart, it's like it did just kind of feel like he was sleepwalking through this whole movie to me. Like it was nice to see him, but at the same time, it just kind of felt it's just like, oh, it just kind of made me sad. It's like, oh, he doesn't really want to be here.
It's just
I
funny
mean,
because I feel like he had a really good time working on these movies from what I know, like behind the scenes. I feel like he gets goofier moments in the sequels, but like, yeah, I think he had a fun time based on what I saw, which is
yeah, I think
funny.
he's just playing a character where that's like the shtick of it, of like he's kind of doing Tommy Lee Jones Men in Black sort of thing, where he's just so he's seen
Yeah,
it all, so he's like unfazed by everything.
Hmm.
yeah,
It's just
because
that Bob Newhart is a much more sort of laconic figure that his unfazed just reads as more
Yeah,
yeah, because we
upset
already
to be there.
know,
it
because we
reads as
already know
bored.
Judson. Yeah, he is bored. Like, is the thing is the movie's already established. The first one already established. He's been around the block, and he's magic, and he's old as fuck. Like, but
Is
then
he
like
immortal,
the
or is he just
the
like
the law
old as
reasons
fuck
is that
normal guy?
he. So the law reasons is that he does die eventually, but he is immortal. Like during those films, because the reason is that he is actually what was like the like eternal librarian basically. So he had tethered along with the original Guardian their souls to the library, and that's why they're in charge and they seek out new librarians who could actually leave the library to go out and do stuff in the real world. Because if they can't leave, like he can't leave. That's why you never really see him outside the building except magically. Because like he like teleports into screens and stuff like that. You know, it's magic bullshit basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Which,
and
of course, is a
so
thing in the
yeah,
Librarian universe.
and so the thing that kind of sets off the TV show is that the library becomes untethered because Judson is killed.
Well,
Um, yeah, it's actually really sad. Sorry. I know like you would give a fuck, but it was really sad to me because
no, that's
it was really
that's
emotional.
understandable. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was really
I
emotional, especially because like sorry, no one gives a fuck that you guys hate Flynn, so like it doesn't matter. But he was really
I
sad
don't
over it.
I don't hate Flynn. I think he's just kind of a dork,
Guy.
and at times a little bit very pushy.
I think what makes Flynn so fascinating to me is because this is like one of the most like autistic coded characters I've ever fucking seen, like outright. Like, how
Yeah,
do
he
you make a
memorized the
film?
earth.
That's what I'm saying. He memorized it, but also like you think about all like his flaws that come in that first movie, and then they build upon that throughout the whole franchise. It's just like, how do you how do you look at this 30-year-old man who's just been going to like fucking college his entire life and is just doing degree after degree just purely because he loves learning and he loves the routine of school, and you're like, this is just a neurotypical guy who needs to get out more. Like, it's crazy to me,
I
especially to this is
Zara, are
like
you saying every
2004.
autistic person is a stupid fucking loser? Is that what you're saying?
He's
No,
he's not stupid.
Oh
That
yeah,
is
it's stupid as in like it. Like stupidly written.
um, listen. Is the Library Across the Spear peak cinema with an excellent script? No. Did I expect you to like it as much as me? No. But listen, leave Flynn
I
alone.
I liked some stuff in this movie. I should let my centrism take a positive spin at times. I found some of it to be pleasant and delightful, and some of the action set pieces were fine and fun, and I liked the world building of it. And you know, the scene where he goes through the vault and sees all the legendary stuff, that was fun. There was some fun like world building on the outskirts of it, and I didn't mind Nicole's character. There were times where it was very much like a Lara Croft audition tape. If Angelina Jolie didn't make another movie,
Hmm.
uh, she's available because she's not on Lost very much. And what the fuck else is she doing? Might as well. But like,
Yeah,
I mean, she's certainly a flat character to
oh
a
yeah.
degree. No pun intended. For the Lara Croft comparisons. Um,
Yeah,
but no,
if you think lot her she's close to Lara Croft, wait until you watch if you guys ever get around to it, you watch the sequel because Emily, the main female lead of the sequel, is very much giving Lara Croft to the point like she's British.
I mean,
Like,
is Nicole not also British?
Nicole's
yeah,
also trying to be British.
Well, not trying to be. That actress is British.
Oh, I
but
don't know.
like Lara, but like very much like Lara Croft vibe, like she's, you know, archaeologist, they technically like made in a tomb. Like, you know, like it's much more, I think, heavy-handed than
Yeah.
that being said, Emily is much more I like Emily until she becomes a love interest. That's the thing for me. I think I said this in my review of it when I last rewatched it, but like I really like Emily when they're just when her and Flynn are just like frenemies, when they like because the thing is about Emily is that she's kind of like pretty much just like Flynn, and that's like an obvious point. And it's kind of like basically just like serving as like a mirror back to him, like including like all the things he gets annoyed about with her are the exact same things he does himself, and it's really fucking funny. Um, but then like they make it like a love interest thing, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, sure. Flynn's rebound movie, cool. Um, like, but anyway, yeah, Nicole is I like Nicole a lot. I think she's probably she's probably what the second strongest love interest of that original trilogy, but she's also very much like the proto Eve Baird, who is like the main female protagonist of the TV show, as well as ends up being like Flynn's love interest throughout the whole thing. And
He's such a
Eve's
whore.
okay, listen, there's like
Like
10
he went
years.
from being a virgin loser to just like every fucking woman falling head over heels for him at every single point. There's
Okay.
two different love interests, or like two people who are into him in this movie, and
Yeah,
I
Kelly
guess
Hu is like so fucking horny for him the whole time.
I think the funniest thing about that though is that like Flynn is like completely oblivious, like, and that's like I find that very amusing to me. Like he just doesn't he keeps looking at it because he's like met this woman like two times, and this is like canon because it's in the shitty novelization. But like there is like passages that like and they're horrible to read because like it's so badly written, but I've read it. Where she's like being like, "Oh my God, like he's so smart and sexy and everything like that." And then the next passage are like when they actually have a scene together, and all of a sudden be like, is like Flynn has no idea who this woman is. Like he fucking doesn't have a clue who he is, and he doesn't understand why why she's looking at him like that. And it's just like, dude, I'm like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, you can't keep writing this and just be like, he's a normal guy.
and
He's just a
Yeah,
normal
at the
guy.
end when she's like, "We can be together, librarian. I'm the one for you. We can rule together." And it's like, have you spoken to him?
No, like he doesn't
Have,
have a clue who she
have you
is.
the only proximity they've ever come to one another is when she tries to jab him with the syringe on the plane.
yeah,
And
Yeah, she's
then
like thinks she's got like some like parasocial fantasy about him, like in her brain from like these brief interactions. Like
I
I
would
guess she
really
must think
like
he's
it.
like, you go.
No, I would really like it if it did get expanded from there and like he does go with her and she's like, "Oh, this guy sucks. Oh no.
Yeah.
This isn't totally not what I was picturing." Ugh. Ugh.
he just starts info dumping for like 5 seconds, and she just loses everything.
Just kills
Yeah,
him. Just slits his
she
throat and he's
thinks
dead.
Please, oh my God. But
like
Zara, what you were saying earlier about Emily in the second movie, how it's like you stopped liking her when she became a love interest. That's how I felt about. I keep forgetting her name, like even though we just keep saying it. Nicole.
Nicole.
Nicole. That's how I feel about Nicole. Um, because it's like when she was just generic tough girl who is like the real explorer of the two of them. It's like, okay, sure, it's a trope, but whatever. At
You
least it's like
related to her because she also hated him.
yes. But then it's like when they start having the love story, it's just another like huge eye roll. And it's just like and it just goes into like, oh, the people who made this really wanted to make a Joss Whedon movie, really wanted to be Joss Whedon. And that is the worst criticism I can do for this movie. It's like
It was the 2000s. It was 2000s, different time. It's different time.
ev
Of course they wanted to be Joss Whedon. Everyone wanted to be Joss Whedon.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's just, it's so bad. I hate the romance. And I just like every time they focus on the romance, and especially when they have sex later on, it's all just so cringe and stupid, and I hate it.
Yeah, I don't dislike the romance between Flynn and Nicole because I think for me, I think this really sweet moment. I especially like, the campfire scene while like he starts pointing out the stars and everything like that. I think that's really cute and really sweet. Um, but like I can I think it's probably like one of the more valid criticisms I'm seeing is just like I understand why people don't find it interesting. And again, I don't think it's Flynn's best romance. And he doesn't really get a really good one until the TV show anyway. Um, with Eve, which we'd love to see. That's his true love. But anyway, so like it's yeah, but I like them together, but also like it's not like my favorite thing about the film. Like I do, especially too, like I mean, they even make her more interesting in the TV show because, like, getting back to like what I was saying earlier, like, when she becomes immortal, her big when she the process to make her immortal like turns her evil, so she kind of
Ooh.
ends up like yeah, so she ends up while she's still chalking back in time immortal, starts planning the demise of the library and Flynn. Like
Thank
because
God.
yeah. So like when and she ended up being captured by like a previous librarian like in the past. And so the whole time while Flynn thought she was dead, it turned out the other librarians, as well as like the custodian, which is Jenkins. He's a character introduced in the TV. He's great. I think you guys would like Jenkins. He's probably one of the best characters in the show. Um, but like so Nicole has just been locked up in a dungeon in the library for like the whole time since her capture from like a previous library in the past. And Flynn just had no idea. Nobody told him. They purposely kept it a secret from him until like the final season of the show. And so the whole final season is like they need her help because she's partially caused like all this shit to go wrong. And so and she's just like keeps kind of screwing them over until eventually like kind of like use time travel. Like they can't like stop her from getting stuck in time, but like Flynn could go back and like apologize and be like, "Hey, like I'm sorry, like, and they have like a nice moment at the end. Everything gets wrapped up and it's really sweet. And then Flynn and Eve get tethered, which is like magic marriage, and it's great. But anyway,
I
so
like that
like
this is a universe that has time travel and fictional characters coming to life, and also the Christian God is real.
yeah, like that's the thing is like that's why I think the TV show is so much stronger. Like I love the films because I think they're very fun and silly and they're like very much the like pulp adventure, Indiana Jones pastiche type thing. But the TV show really takes everything that is really interesting and unique specific to the librarians and actually like really does stuff with it. Like I said, like they have more focus on literature and history and everything like that. And it's a lot more interesting. Like one of my favorite episodes, which also sadly doesn't have Flynn in it, which hurts me every day, is from season one, and it's solely where they go to a town that's been like overrun by like people having to live out fairy tales, and it's so fun. Like they turn Cassandra and like all the librarians when they go into town, like they become like end up having to take on an archetype unintentionally. And Cassandra becomes the Prince Charming, and she's constantly having women swoon over her. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is everything. It's so good. Um, but like that is the stuff I think that's missing from the films. But like it's so funny because like you again, the first film's not trying to do that. It's very much like an Indiana Jones, like pulp adventure novel pastiche. But like, what if Indiana Jones was like a lame ass autistic guy? Like who had like savant syndrome or whatever. Like
What if Indiana
it's
Jones was a 30-year-old nerd who lives with his mom?
I love the relationship with his mom. It actually like makes me crazy. Anyway. Um
I, I do
but
have a
like
I do have a question about the time travel shit though, Zara.
yeah,
So it's
okay.
like when talking about time travel, there's usually like two kinds. There's the kind where it's like one timeline where it's like if you go back in time, it's still like the same past. It's just you were always in that past. And then there's the other kind where it's like you are actively changing the future. But it's like this sounds like it's doing both. Where it's
It's kind
like
of doing both. It's
because
like
it's
they
like
can
they're
change
still
only
worried about
so
changing
much. Yeah.
they're worried about changing the future, but also the timeline where she went back into the past is also the same one where she's stuck in the past.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Because this show has like in the very first season, it doesn't have time travel, but it does introduce the similar thing of how there's like multiple dimensions and timelines through like this big magical loom that like is like weaving all the timelines together that gets like in the big finale, like it kind of goes like a sword goes through it. And so
oh,
Eve is
like
the only
a
one who
literal magic loom?
yeah, like literally
Okay.
like a magic loom. Like
It's
kind
not
of
a
like
metaphor. It's just like, oh, there is a
oh
magic
it's
loom that like has
it's
Like a,
definitely
literally a
a like
magic
a
loom.
full-on physical actual loom that
like
Yes,
exists.
yeah, and a sword goes through it, and so Eve is like the only one who like remembers how things are supposed to be. She just to find go through all these different like timelines, and kind of bring everyone back together, like bring all the librarians back together, and like save Flynn, like save Cassandra, save Jake, save Ezekiel, save everyone. But like okay, so yeah, like they kind of introduce it, and then like it's in later seasons, actual time travel's kind of introduced. Like we do get like a scene where they go into one of the library's many rooms, and it's like the big storage room where it has like H.G. Wells' time machine, which we already were introduced to in the end of the very first film with that throwaway line, about the ninjas and shit. And then like also in that same scene, they have like a police box and a DeLorean as well. Like this is what I'm saying. Like the people who work on the show are fucking nerds. Like I actually think some, at least maybe one of the writers actually did work on Doctor Who, which I think is very telling
Oh,
for like the tone of the librarians. Like you can feel the influence of Doctor Who on the librarians, like the Russell
Yeah.
T Davies era. It's
Yeah, I
very
was picking up
apparent.
on that just from the way you were talking about it. It
yeah,
does
Yeah.
like
feel very.
it goes from wanting to be Indiana Jones and Joss Whedon to wanting to be Doctor Who reboot.
Yeah. And it's like it's better than anything Doctor Who's done in the past 20 years. Anyway, I'm like,
Let's
but
get back to the movie.
back to the movie, back to the good stuff.
Uh,
Uh,
one thing when they're doing the whole like expedition dump about the spear and everything, uh one of
the
my
Hitler and they
favorite
had
lines
One
in this,
Piece.
Hitler had the One Piece. He like quit the search for One Piece, everybody. Hitler
You
got
know
it.
what's you know what's crazy to me is that it's not even that far-fetched in the context of the universe because the Nazis, like Hitler did have they had that like a thing where they were weirdly like obsessed with the occult. So like it's not even that far-fetched in a universe that's full of magic that Hitler would like be like, let's find magic shit to like commit
You,
horrible
you,
atrocities.
you know
But
what this is similar to?
it's so
Indiana
absurd.
Jones,
Indiana Jones, yeah.
where they're after
Yeah.
the fucking thing, the
The
Ark.
Ark
Oh
of the
yeah.
Ark of the Covenant, which is here,
They're
and it is the
the
design from Indiana Jones.
the thing is they're like not even like because when in the behind the scenes they're not like trying to hide that Indiana Jones is a big influence. They do like play with that. They're like, yeah, we kind of was like, what if like we do like kind of Indiana Jones with like a dorky loser? And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, that's awesome for me
That's just like
specifically.
me. I'm sorry, that was
Um,
mean.
listen, listen. Um,
I want
but
to
yeah,
use that to just briefly mention my favorite line from the movie, other
yes.
than I memorized the Earth. Um, it's not long after that where they're at the campfire, like you mentioned, and he does the thing where he like reads her and like her whole history and everything, and goes into her whole backstory. Just I don't know how he picks up on all the stuff he says, but he does. And she goes, "I could do the same thing about you." And he goes, "Be my guest," and sits back, and she just goes, "Nerd."
It's
And
literally
that's it.
that's one of
It's good. It's a good line.
that
Good
yeah,
for
that's
her.
one of my favorite scenes. That's why I said like the campfire scene is probably like my favorite scene for them as a romantic couple because of stuff like that. It's just like it's so like cute, like the back and forth. I
It is
I
until he
like it.
ruins it about like really pushing for like, oh, well, the fire's out. I'm really cold. We should huddle up next to each other. And then when they
He's
get
he's so
with
Yeah,
fucking
the
obnoxious.
like
and then later when they're in the hut, it's like, oh, they think we're a couple. They only gave us one bed. We don't want to disappoint them. And she's like, no.
yeah,
And he's
it's
like
too
very
much.
yeah. It's not cute. The like how adamant he is when with how often she like very clearly turns him down, and he's like, no, I'm gonna keep asking you questions. I'm gonna keep bothering you. I'm gonna keep talking to you until it works, and then eventually it works, but it is not cute in the way that I think the writers thought that it was being cute,
Uh,
and that was did not go a long way towards making him a likable protagonist.
my favorite line, which I think comes a little before the I memorized the Earth line, because I think it's like as they're about to, it's when he's trying to
Sorry.
climb up the weird tree, and she just says, "Go get him, monkey boy."
Go get a
Yeah.
monkey boy. Classic line.
I
The
have a
library quest for the spear.
I have a plot hole when we're on the plane and we're panning up on the stewardess from like foot to head, and you find out, oh, it's Kelly Hu, the assassin. You get the intercom from the pilot saying we're at 11,000 feet, but no, we're not. Kelly Hu only has 2 feet, and I'm looking at them right now. You're wrong.
No, just like
God.
11,000 feet in that general area. Like they're flying over an area where there's like
Nope, the movie says
5,500
we're at
people.
11,000 feet, and I'm looking at 2 feet on screen.
No,
Plot hole.
there's just
Cinema
been 11,
sins. Ding,
there's been
ding.
11,000 feet in the movie actually, because there's like a lot of people in line for the interview position, and like all the other people that are in the movie. It's like you count
Oh,
them, which I bet you didn't. There's actually 11,000. Get owned.
Give me an Ariel needs legs, but it's Kelly Who with 55,000 legs or
You know
pairs of
what's
legs.
crazy?
55,000
I
vagina.
just But you know what's crazy though is that like for how little she's given with that character, she still gets more to do in this movie with such an underwritten female character than she does in X2 with Lady Deathstrike,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Forgot that was her in that.
Like I
What
just
about the
rewatched X2 recently, so that's why it's like fresh in my mind.
what about the guy playing Rhodes of Lana Rhodes? Is he anyone? Is that
I don't
guy
think so.
David
I
Dayan
don't
Fisher?
I haven't seen him in anything that I can remember. I think he's probably just like an actor who just does a lot of different bit
I'm trying to
parts
Oh,
visualize him from the
on like
movie, and
TV.
all I'm picturing is Billy Zane. And I know he doesn't look anything like Billy Zane
Yeah,
other
I
than
don't
bald.
remember him at all. Kelly Hugh, outside Comic Book and Kelly Hugh's like the only interesting like antagonist character, really.
This guy
Like
played a character named Trent Court on NCIS for 14 episodes. Court, Kort.
as I said, he's like one of those actors. He's like
Yeah.
the fucking what is it, like the credit card guy, the defunct Lance somehow recently. He's like that guy.
He's in The Dark Knight Rises as Shoe Shiner.
That's crazy.
And he's in like 5 Kingdom Hearts games.
oh, who does he voice?
Zeldin with an
Oh,
X.
awesome. I love Kingdom Hearts.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, it's crazy kind of like the actors who are in this though. Why how did I get Olympia Dukakis for this? Like I
Yeah.
mean I
Yeah.
understand why, but at the same time it's like she like and the thing is it's not just the first film. She's in like both she's in the sequel as well. And fuck, I can't remember. I know she's not in the third film no, because the third film is all Holiday Still, but they get her for like the first two movies, which is crazy. Like I would get it as just the one, and then we don't see Flynn's mom again. But then she's like in the second film for like a good like scene or two, and it's just like, Queen, you came back? Like you came back for this?
Sure, why not? The money's good, I guess.
I mean, I'm glad she did because again, I like the relationship Flynn has with his mom. I think it's really sweet. But like, I was also surprised. I was like, damn, I was like, how much did they pay you? Like, you know what I mean?
I was just like looking at like she seems to have been doing like a lot of like random roles, like just to get the bills coming in. And I just like
Yeah.
I sorted by 2000s and I found a movie called Mafia Doctor from
What?
I've heard of
2003
this. I don't know anything about it, but I feel like I've
Paul
heard of this.
Sorvino, Olympia Dukakis, and those are the only names I recognize.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Mafia Doctor.
Mafia Doctor, 2003.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyone
I
else?
think
TV movie.
It
Yeah.
is a TV movie. All right.
IMDb
crazy.
says Mafia Doctor.
Mafia
That's
Doctor coming
crazy.
soon to the podcast near you.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe some point.
I think. Sorry, I'm just thinking again about the film and stuff like that, and then I think I'm
You're
like,
thinking about the movie we're talking about?
yeah, I'm thinking about the movie we're talking about. I think I'm too like lore brained and fan like autistic brained about these films and TV shows now to like talk about it normally because I'm over here like when I think about like Flynn and Vaughn's relationship, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like they didn't even know what autism was when he was born. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm like having those kind of like stupid like thoughts that no one writing it cared about. No, none of them cared about this, but I'm over here like, oh my God, the deep implications of how he was raised. Like,
So, so when
He-
he has his like backstory moment and he talks about how it's like his dad died when he was young and like he was like only really was close to his mom, it's just like for some reason my mind went, it's like, oh, Flynn is Sean Lennon. It's just like I just thought about it longer. It's like, no, that makes no sense. But it's like
What? Yeah, Olympia Dukakis playing.
like
What-
Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Yep.
it's funny because like,
Really offensive casting there, huh?
I think Yoko would be cool
God.
with it.
Sure.
probably she's a conceptual contemporary artist. Maybe she'd be open to it.
Does the dad backstory show up in
It
the
does.
series
It is,
later? Like
it is
he's
very. It is.
is
the
he a guy?
core, It is the funniest part about it. So it is like the core thing to do with Flynn's arc in the sequel. Like the whole narrative revolves around like his relationship with his father, and there's like a family like friend slash like uncle figure who comes into play that was clearly like a little bit of a surrogate but wasn't super present. Um, and so that's like the core thing of the sequel. But the funniest part is there's like us there's two flashback scenes, one for like the uncle guy has, and then one that's like kind of like a photo that Flynn looks at. And I think it's so funny. And they clearly like did this on purpose. But they just have Noah Wyle and a mustache playing his dad. And it's
Wait,
so funny. Yes. It's just Noah Wyle and a mustache, and it's so funny. I love it so much. Like, and you just know, like, if they knew at the time that they were going to turn this into like a big TV show, they probably would have actually cast someone as Flynn's dad for these. But they're just like, no, they're just like, this is a funny gag, and we're just gonna make it Noah Wyle.
does
You
this
know, it
continue into the show?
So no, they don't bring up like his parents again in the show, which is like a little sad. It's kind of like more, I think it has to take a background, but like I like when I talk about the TV show, I'm like I don't think like I said, I don't think the films are necessary viewing to enjoy the show, but if you end up liking Flynn in the show, the films are great like texture. Like they add a lot to what's going on with his character throughout the show and like his arcs and like the background to like why he is the way he is. Um, but like Flynn's childhood in general is like outside of the films is not touched on very much within the show. Which is crazy because like what do you mean? Like
Hmm.
why the fuck don't we like know more about this for such a lore obsessed show? Um, it is actually genuinely crazy that in terms of the show, like the show's era, the most we touch on Flynn's childhood again is in a tie-in novelization for the TV show, which is
Fun.
like this fucking book. I lost my mind reading this book. I read this book at work. Oh, what? No, I wasn't reading at work. Um, and like it's it's called like the Librarians, and it's like yeah. Anyway, so like it
The
Mother
book
Goose.
based on the Librarians is called The
Yeah,
Librarians.
yeah. It's like the Librarians and like the Mother Goose claws or whatever like that, and it's like a whole thing. And so Mother Goose is like attacking people and everything like that, and it makes me feel insane because
sure,
it's just like
sure.
and and okay, and Flynn is missing for like most of the book. Like he's like, and not in just the general, like he's run off and he's not interacting with anyone, which is like a pretty common problem
Yeah,
for like the first two or so seasons. Like he's just avoiding everyone. Um,
because they couldn't afford him for every episode.
well, no, it's actually because he was filming a different TV show, but it works really well for his characters. No, Noah Wyle was doing Falling Skies, which I think Spielberg was like an exec producer on or something. I watched the pilot I think as a child, but I've never seen it. I don't have that much interest in it. It doesn't look very good. But yeah, that was one of the reason they reworked the like because originally it was just going to be following Flynn the TV show. And then like yeah, they reworked it because he's on Falling Skies when it finally seemed like oh we can actually get this thing made. And I think it was for the benefit because I think um Flynn's arc really benefits from like having Flynn be so avoidant. I think like it already plays into established traits about him not working well with others and being bad at teamwork. Um and then like too, I think it's for the benefit of the main cast and like the creative team. Like they've all said this as well in interviews. Like it was really good that Flynn ended up not being the main character because it gave them a lot of room, especially the first season, to actually develop the main cast and make them likable and have the show stand without him. Which is I think really good because all the new characters are great and I love them. Um, and again, they're all more interesting than most of the characters that were introduced in the original trilogy as well. Like the best characters from the film trilogy besides Flynn are literally like Judson and Charlene, like Bob Newhart and Jane Curtin. Like they're the best characters. They're the most interesting ones. Like Nicole gets to become interesting, but like only in the final season of the show. Um, but yeah, I do wish that like obviously realistically, Olympia Dukakis would not have been in the TV show. You know what I mean? Like, I get why. Because when did she die again? Like,
Not that long ago. Like I
Only
think
just a
like
few.
late 2010s.
No,
yeah,
like it was like 2020, I thought.
Really?
Yeah, that's what
Olivia
I meant by
Dukakis
late 2010s.
died in 2021.
Okay,
Yeah,
a bit later
but
than I
like by
thought.
that point she was quite old. Like, do we know if she like officially retired at any point or anything like that? Like,
Um,
I mean, she
uh,
was doing films like really late.
it says years
yeah.
active, and it goes through 2021. So
Oh yeah,
Okay.
she had a movie released posthumously, but there was a documentary about her released in 2018. So I think that was probably like, and like that was her last thing before
Yeah.
uh the 2021 movie.
Damn. Yeah,
what's
I get
this posthumous movie that has like 5 Oscar winners in it?
what the
Louis
fuck?
Gossett Jr., Tatum O'Neal, George Chakiris, Cloris Leachman, and Olympia Dukakis.
That's
And then the leads
crazy.
are 2 people without a Wikipedia page and someone named Karen Grassel.
Who
God.
does have a Wikipedia page for being uh Little House on the Prairie.
Written,
Oh,
directed,
okay.
and produced by a guy who also doesn't have a Wikipedia page, Valerio Zanoli.
What
Oh.
a name.
That's
Valerio
crazy.
Zanoli.
A scamming, self-centered millennial is forced to take care of his grandmother who has Alzheimer's.
Fuck. God.
Oh
Anyway,
Yeah.
man, this is
But yeah, I love her in this film and the
yeah.
sequel. I think she's so good. Like, and I think the way she acts is like really realistic. It's almost like kind of like above the tone of the movie in a sense. Like she's really putting like a lot of like genuineness into like the relationship. Like her character has with like this, like flop fail son. Like, um like the whole scene where like he comes back and he's like, I got a job, and she's like, oh my God, like yes. She's like, finally he's finished with duty. Like, what are you doing? Like thinking it's gonna be something great. He's like, I'm a librarian, and you just see like her face fall, and she's just trying to pretend like she's not like super disappointed. And stuff like that. And I just think it's just like such a really good little moment like of like her performance that I really like that I think does a lot for like their relationship in the whole film and really works for the movie. And I'm just like, it's just little things like that where I'm like, damn, I wish we got that again in the TV show. That would have been kind of cool.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's one of my favorite aspects of the film, I think. It's just that relationship. I think it's really nice and I think it makes Flynn really interesting as a character to me. Because I
to
do
me.
to me, because I do think like the thing is, it's like I get why people wouldn't like him because he can be really obnoxious, and that's fair. Like,
Mhm.
shut the fuck up. Um, but like, I think he's really interesting as a protagonist because of how he like starts off basically like he's just like I do think they set out to do what they wanted to do. They wanted to make like a fun action adventure fantasy movie where a fucking like autistic loser was the lead, and I think for me it paid off. I think it was I think it's really interesting. Like because he's just such a flop. Like and he's so autistic and I love it. I love it. I think it's great. It's nice.
Hell
Where does
yeah.
our mediator stand on this?
Um, Impartial.
All right,
Uh,
perfect.
n- uh, I did just want to mention, well, to go back to the earlier topic of the dad, and if they had cast him, like actually cast him, it is kind of a shame that he's in this movie in a different capacity because there were times where I was like looking away from my screen and I heard Noah Wyle talk, and I thought it was Kyle MacLachlan. They have a very similar voice, which I wouldn't have really thought until that happened, and I looked up and no, it was the other one. Um, but is that
Wait, that would be so good actually.
I was gonna
Like,
say, is that is
Fuck,
that a headcanon
yeah.
out there that Kyle MacLachlan's character is secretly his dad, and that's
because
No,
how
it's
he
not a
has.
headcanon because we've all accepted that like no, that like Flynn's dad just looks exactly like him with a mustache. Like we've just had to accept that as
But
the canon.
maybe that's just for the younger photos, and
I
maybe
think I think the big I think if you were to take away theory, and this is like spoilers for the film, but basically there's like an uncle character, like he's not the real uncle, he's like an old family friend who knew like Flynn's
yeah.
mom and
You
dad when they were young and stuff like
is
that.
that guy played by anybody? You mentioned him earlier. Is that I was meaning to
He
ask?
might
Was
be
that
played by somebody, but I
an
can't.
actor? What's the
Yeah, I don't.
character's name?
I think it's Jerry from memory.
Okay,
in what is
He'll
Librarian.
he in?
be high up in the cast list. Like,
Robert
but
Foxworth.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him for
Ooh.
anything, but he might be in stuff. Like he looks kind of familiar, but I'm like, I
That's
don't
not
know
the
where
bad
I
guy
would
from
place him.
Moulin Rouge, is it? That's
No, that's Richard Roxburgh.
okay.
He's
Similar
been in
enough
like
name.
the Transformers movies. Like I think he's
Yeah.
mainly just done TV work. Like
Yeah. Oh, you know who he is? He's
Oh
Mike
my god,
Character.
he's
He's
my
Mike Character from
character.
Ants.
no way.
Zara, did
Um,
you listen to our Ants episode?
no, I didn't, but now I should.
You
Yeah,
should.
he was
He's
in
Mike
Ants,
Character from
also known as
Ants.
It Happened at Lakewood Manor.
That's
Or it is
awesome.
it was
That's why he looks familiar.
But yeah,
He's
so
Ant's
like,
little damn Ant's buddy.
God. But
he
yeah,
he
like the implication for. Sorry, I'm just like returning to the movie,
no,
like really quick.
No,
but
But like
go
the
right
actually
ahead.
I
Answer
want
the
to go
question
in
I
on the
asked
Kyle
first.
MacLachlan thing though, because
no,
like
I'm explaining like I I think Conor McLaughlin would have been great as Flynn's dad. But obviously that didn't happen, and instead we just have Noah Wyle with a mustache, which is very funny, and I love that. But also like it would have been nice if we actually had an actor, because then maybe something that could have been expanded on later when they decided, oh yeah, we're gonna make this into like a TV series. Um, but so there's like like there's this Uncle Jerry character who gets introduced, and he's like obviously been around since Flynn was a kid, kind of in and out, knows him. Like he shares an anecdote with Emily, like the love interest of the film, about how like Flynn met Stephen Hawking as a child and argued with him when he was like 8 on his thesis, which I think is
He
really
knew.
funny. Yeah, he knew. Um, Flynn picked up
Sorry,
bad vibes
sorry,
from him.
sorry. Continue.
No, you're right. Anyway, so like obviously it's obvious it comes from a mile away. The twist is that Uncle Jerry is the villain of the movie, right? And the whole thing is he wants to use like the magic MacGuffin to go back in time and make it so he got with Flynn's mom and not Flynn's dad. So like the implication of that
Fellas.
is though, if you really wanted to be
Who
like
among us? You
be
ever
like-
try and go back in time just to fuck someone else's girlfriend?
to fuck Olympia Dukakis.
You ever
But, like-
try and rip apart the space-time continuum to get with young Olympia Dukakis?
Yeah, as one does. As one does. But like so anyway.
the way you
so he
phrased
was-
it though, it made it sound like he was fucking Flynn's dad, but then it's like, no, I want to fuck
I
his mom
wish.
this time.
I wish.
I like the
Oh,
way
wait,
you
I
phrased it
should've-
then,
I
Eliza.
Done
That it
my
was
bad.
Eliza, I like the way you phrased it just there, that it was not out of urgency, but just, I wonder what that would have been like.
But like so like you could if you really wanted to be like Reddit conspiracy, like is Bart Simpson in a type of shit, you could potentially be like, what if like Uncle Jerry was actually Flynn's dad, and like because he fucked the mom or whatever.
What if he was Dad Jerry instead?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you could do that if you wanted to. I don't subscribe to that, but like you could be fandom brain even more than I am and go for that. I'm personally of the I like that it's just
He
Noah
was
Wyle
Dad
with a
Jerry.
mustache.
Sorry,
No, it's fine.
I zoned out. I was too high on my own supply of what if he was Dad Jerry.
No, it's okay. It's like this whole like podcast is my experience has been like fandom, like rock in a hard place. So it's just like fandom. One side is my autistic fandom brained outlook on this thing, and then it's like Eliza's just like.
Yeah, we've had too much of a good thing this time. Eliza,
Yeah.
circle back around. Bring us
Yeah.
home. Shit on this movie again.
Real quick. I just wanted to
Okay.
say, like, it would make sense if Kyle MacLachlan was the dad, because one, the dad died when he was very young. Two, Kyle MacLachlan was thought to be dead, but then it turned out he had faked his death. It's like the dad could have faked his death too, and they could have both been the same guy. And it's just like it would have made sense. But anyway,
Inherited librarian powers.
something I hated about this movie that we didn't talk about yet. This movie's fucking ugly. Like it's so cheap and ugly the entire time.
The CGI is really rough.
It's rough, yeah.
They're so terrible. Oh, and it's just like I just hated looking, and also just like everything just felt so cheap. Like the fact that they use like papyrus as the opening font for the credits and
love that.
everything. And
It's so bad. It's great.
it just feels like it it's almost at like anonymous Rex level cheap. Like it's
I
bad.
well, I don't know
They
if I can
honestly,
dispute that actually.
oh,
Oh,
listen,
do you know what anonymous Rexes are? It's like you've listened to some
I
episodes, but not all of them. So I'm like curious. Like,
I do, I do. I wouldn't go that far, but I do agree with you that the CGI is very bad, and I think it's one of those things where it's like because this was like a TNT original movie. This is not a big network. Like
Yeah,
this is a small network, and I think it's one of those things where like the scope of what they want to achieve, they did not have the budget for, and so that's like a big
you
things looking like shit is a big consequence of that, I
you
think.
want to know how low the budget is for the tracker that Kyle MacLachlan hires? They had to get a Danny Trejo lookalike. They couldn't even afford Danny Trejo for this movie.
Yeah. You
Like
also have to think
that's
too, like the cast alone, I reckon, took up a good
yeah,
chunk of the budget. Like
yes,
Noah
yeah.
Wyle was still like at the height of ER when he did these movies. Like
Is he
he was
still
still
on
like
ER
he was
at this
still
point?
on ER when he
Okay,
did these films. He did not leave for like until near the end of the show. Like technically, I think he left from what I know in like season 11, but then he came back for like I think 14 or something like that, 14, 15. But like in more like a smaller capacity. But he was still on the show for the like bulk of this trilogy.
yeah. And
Like
like Kyle MacLachlan is probably well. When does he show up on Desperate Housewives?
I think I
Is
don't
he
I
there
don't
from the
know
no
the
beginning,
clue.
or
answer.
does he show up later?
I
I don't
think
know.
I'm not
Never
sure.
But
watched it. The
he's
only
But
thing
still
I
like
know about the show is that most or all of the episodes are named after Sondheim songs, and that is important to me.
that's
that
awesome.
tracks. Uh,
But like yeah, like I reckon Noah Wiley would have been demanding like a little bit of a pretty penny in terms of the
yeah,
small budget for this movie. Like especially too considering I think he was getting paid like a shit ton of money per ER episode from what I've
that
read.
tracks. Yeah,
Like a
and then
lot.
like yeah, it's not like Bob Newhart and Jane Curtin and Olympia Dukakis are these big like diva contract players or whatever, but like
Oh no.
they're still
But they
pulling
yeah, they still would
a
want
fee.
some money. Yeah, so I reckon yeah, a good chunk of the budget would have gone to just the whole cast in general.
Yeah,
When you consider all
which
like
is
these established names, even if they're not
yeah,
like huge stars.
also probably why you go for someone like Sonia Walker for your love interest because she wasn't on Lost yet at this point. She wouldn't show
Yeah.
up for another couple of years. So like she is relatively a no-name actress. I'm sure she had done some other stuff at this point, but she wasn't, attached to one of the biggest TV shows. So you could find room for someone that's not going to break your budget
Yeah,
for
pretty
that.
much.
Uh,
She's
but
not Penny yet.
she was not yet Penny.
Nope. But yeah, so like I think yeah, the CGI looks like shit, but it's like I can forgive it because it's like it's a made for TV movie from a small network. Like it wasn't gonna have the budget to look that good anyway. I do like that they have like
And
a small amount of location shooting. I do like that they tried to put that effort in though. I think that's
yeah,
nice.
and it's also effects heavy enough. Like there are a lot of effects that it calls for that like you're going to have to spread that effects budget pretty thin with everything you're wanting, with
Yeah.
the bridge and the Holy Grail reconnecting and the jetpack and whatever the hell else
I
stunts and
love that
fight
Holy
scenes
Grail
and
scene. So
Kyle
much
MacLachlan
stuff
getting
about that.
smushed at the
Yeah.
end, just getting flat Stanley'd.
Like I think yeah, it's just like they were working what they had. And I think I can forgive it too because I think it's like for the most part like the tone is like goofy, like lighthearted, fun enough. There's like bad CGI. It's like if they were taking that bridge scene like for example like way more seriously, like it would be like I feel like the CGI would be harder to swallow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
because it's kind of like shitty and like Flynn is just like being fucking useless, it's great. Like I'm just like, yeah, goofy ass bridge, goofy ass guys on the bridge. Perfect. Like,
If like when Kyle gets crushed, they should have done like the Space Jam thing where it's like it shows him like just all flattened out and everything.
fuck,
Or they
that'd be
should
so good.
Or they should have had it just like all of a sudden get really gory and you see blood just like splatter from
Oh,
all
I
sides of
wouldn't.
the pyramid and you
I
just liquidate Kyle MacLachlan. Just
I
there is
think the
Made
no
him meat.
if I can,
solid form left of that man. He is
yeah.
reduced to a concept.
If I can say, I think the biggest difference, and I'm going to illustrate this with like the Carl McLaughlin death, between the tone of like the films and the tone of the TV show is that the TV show would still have a goofy ass death like that, except they would probably have like a close up shot of you see blood coming out from like underneath the big fucking triangle. Like, which I think is just a really funny thing, like this like so shit, like where it's like, oh, we're taking this shit more seriously now, but not too serious, but more seriously, which I think is very funny. God, yeah, I love Kyle MacLachlan in this movie. I do think he's very fun. I do think he, when he's in on screen, he is a bit of a scene stealer, which I think rightfully so, because he's Kyle MacLachlan. Um, but yeah, I do wish he was in it more though, just because like I think the film is trying to balance a lot. I think it's trying to establish a lot of lore. It's trying to establish like Flynn as a character, and then all of a sudden we got this other guy, like the villain guy. We got to get him in there more. And it's like they kind of try to like with again introducing him like, oh, rest in peace to a king. You know what I mean? Like, you know, would have been cooler if they had like more scenes together, like Flynn and the other guy, especially too. I think because this becomes like part of his arc later like in the third film and then recurring in the TV show. Like but the third film especially, like the centralized where he's like, I don't know if I actually want to be the librarian because of all the shit I have to give up to do this job. He's like, I can't have normal relationships, if I try to go on dates, I have to flake out. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like fucking superhero problems. Like it's really funny. But like I think it would have been interesting, like considering like Kyle MacLachlan's character, like Edward, he like gave that up for like power, but also like he can do shit that he couldn't do as a librarian. I think it would have been interesting to introduce kind of like that kind of seed of doubt, being like why do you want to do this job? It kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like in the
Yeah,
grand scheme of things,
trying to
if they
corrupt him,
introduce
bring him
that.
over to his side.
Yeah, exactly. Especially too because it's just like that's kind of again comes up later throughout the sequels and the TV show as well that this is the thing where it's like Flynn's like, damn, do I even want to do this job? Like, um, and it's like a big consequence of like him deciding to do this job is just like he like all his worst traits in these films get like heightened because there is a canonically a 10-year time skip between the end of the third film and the start of the TV show. So Flynn has been the librarian completely alone outside of Judson and Charlene for like 10 years. Like he hasn't bothered religion, hasn't done anything. He's just solely librarian. It shows. Like it's like okay, you
How
need therapy.
how long production wise between the last movie and the show?
God, probably like I think the last one was in 2008, and the show aired like 2014.
It's like
I
six
think it
years.
was yeah 2014. Yeah, so like 6 years. So not as big as a gap as they make in the TV show, but definitely still a pretty big gap between when the last film was and when they started the TV show. I think the timing of when the TV show got off the ground makes a lot of sense, Loki, because you had things like I think within that 2010 space, there was a lot of like urban fantasy kind of TV shows cropping up a lot on network TV at the time. Like in cable. I mean Game of Thrones aired that same year, but that's like nowhere near the Librarians of Time. But like Doctor Who was at like the height of its popularity in the early 2010s. I think shows like The Magician started coming out. So it made a lot of sense.
Heroes had been
Yeah,
on for a bit.
yeah.
Once Upon a Time kind
Once
of
upon a
leads
time,
into that.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like I think
also
it made a
a
lot of
lot
sense
of
that they made a TV show
all
at the time.
a lot of those shows also all ripping off Lost or pulling
Oh
from
yeah.
Lost. To the
It's
point that there's
it's
a whole
lost all
podcast
the way
about that.
down.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah.
very much. A lot of network TV post 2004 is Lost.
Yeah, I don't
It just is Lost
I can't
again.
speak to the Lost influence on the librarians because I've never seen Lost. It's just one of those things I just never watched. It's too much of an undertaking for me. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. I mean, I
You
should at
should.
some point because I know
I think you'd like it
yeah.
just based on this one conversation of us speaking for the first time. I think you would enjoy it.
Thank you. But I think I'll try and get to it eventually. I'm bad at TV shows. Like there's TV
I am
shows
too, generally, yeah.
I like for context, this is a show that people are shocked when I tell them I had not seen it, and I just started watching it last night while I was very depressed. Um, but like Pushing Daisies. People are shocked when I told
I
them I
need to
haven't
watch
seen
that
that.
one.
I
That's one
Yeah,
that I have not.
I thought for sure you'd seen that. Like that,
that's what
I
I'm
feel like I would have
saying.
talked to
Like
you about it back at like way back when.
I've like been meaning to watch it for probably well over a decade because everyone's like you like are shocked that I haven't seen it
And
when it
like
comes up
you were
because
obsessed with Lee Pace for a while there.
I love Lee Pace. I'd love him to
Why
marry
didn't
him.
you watch it?
It's because I'm bad at TV.
And
Like
it's
I
like a
think there
two
was a
season
point.
show too, with like not that many episodes. It's
The
like
thing
I've
about me with TV is just like if I'm not in the mood, I just cannot put it on. Like I have TV shows that I started like years ago and have finished. This like I haven't finished Succession because I had to stop watching it and I just haven't been in the zone to
yeah,
finish it.
and you broke
I
your
Yeah.
never
fucking
even
promise to
finished.
me.
I know. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
Sorry, and I made a pact where it's because like I got really into Succession, she got really into Severance, and we made a thing. It's like, okay, we're gonna watch, but we're gonna watch the other person's show, and I watched all of Severance, like both seasons, and she has not touched Succession.
It
Well, she's watched like one season.
I watched two seasons. I got halfway through season three. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay.
Before I stopped.
But
So
anyway,
I
like
did watch
Pushing
I need to
Daisies, I
finish
feel like
it.
you could have binged in like a day.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I'm bad with TV and it's just like one of those things where it's just like yeah, I anyway, so I finally started last night because I had like a significant amount of alone time last night. So I was like I was like, you know what? I want something nice. I'm not in the mood for a movie. I was like, I'll finally watch this show. I can't remember what's more. It's usually like something specific like will make me be like, oh, I need to watch this now, and then I'll do it. You know what I mean? But like otherwise, it's just like I just don't seem to watch TV. That's why I love the weekly model. I'm glad that the weekly model is coming back because the binge model kind of sucked for me because it'd be like, oh, there's this huge chunk, and then it's like, oh, I need to. It comes out, it's like I'll get to it, and I just don't. Like, there's so many TV shows I remember were coming out when I was a teenager that I was into that I just stopped watching because like when the new season would finally drop, I'm like, oh, I couldn't be bothered. Like, there's too long to watch it all. Um, yeah, like for example, like it's on topic because Noah Wile's in it, but like the Pitt airing weekly has been so good for me because I'm like, oh yeah, it's on this time, and as soon as I get home from work, I can watch it and I'm up to today. You know what I mean? Like it's like outside forces are like putting pressure on me to watch it, which is nice. And it's only one episode. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. There's something wrong with my brain. So, it's fine. But yeah. Um, but yeah, I think the
Let's round up
librarians.
this episode here.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to
Yes.
say, speaking of pushing daisies, we are pushing the runtime of the Librarian Quest for the Sphere.
I'm
So,
sorry.
no, it's been a great conversation and a great time. Thank you
No,
for lending yourself to us for this
Of
episode.
course. Thank you
it's
for having me.
I've been friends with Zara long enough to know this is like she can talk for a long time without stopping. So it's like I know we needed to like just cut it at a point and then just like say that the episode's over.